It was an issue in the primary. Give us the short version of your position on first offense OWI and whether it's a crime.
Sure. So we talked about it in the primary, and we'll talk about it again, I'm sure. You know, my position has been that I don't know that that's the solution, because you have someone who is impaired. They're not thinking clearly. They already know in the back of their mind that they could kill themselves. They could kill their passenger, they could kill another motorist and spend a decade or more in prison. And they still get behind the wheel. And so I haven't seen the data to show that that is an actual deterrent. We also haven't defined by what we mean criminalize. Is it going to make someone spend 2 days in jail? Is it just going to make them a criminal? And this, of course, at a time that we're talking about the fact that our jails and prisons are overflowing. Mm-hmm. What I have said is there's no doubt in my mind that when you start talking about these repeat offenders who haven't learned from their touch with the justice system, they haven't corrected the behavior, we've got to get tougher. People who can spend as little as 60 days on a fourth offense drunk driving, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I think we all agree that's woefully inadequate. So we've got to get tougher on these repeat drunk drivers, and we need to do more in terms of our societal acceptance of drunk driving, in terms of talking to our kids about the dangers of drinking and driving. I presented it at my local high school, Jefferson High School, the week before prom this year, and I talked to those kids about the dangers of drinking and driving. And I started always by saying, you can't drink. It's not legal for you to drink, but if you do, you may never, ever get behind the wheel. And I think we as parents and as elected officials ought to be doing more to educate our kids and to start working on the societal acceptance of drinking and driving so that we can reduce the number of people who are going to get behind the wheel.
Okay.
Because if it gets made into a crime, we've got to invest to make sure you don't leave frontline law enforcement and prosecutors holding the bag to do something that they don't have the resources to handle, because you will dramatically increase the number of criminal cases that well, just take the DAs, for instance.
How many more ADAs would be needed in your office if first offense OWI?
When we did the estimate, we estimated we would need 5 more in my office.
5.
Because of that increase. Our judges in Waukesha County did an estimate, and I think it was 2.6 additional judges. Now, of course, that also adds a cost to the county, because our county courthouse doesn't have room for 2.6 more courtrooms. And then you're also going to have court staff, clerical staff, record storage, all of the other things that come with this. It gets to be a very expensive bill. So if we're going to do it, we should only do it if it will improve public safety. And that's been my challenge now for years, long before I ran for Attorney General, because I've been on the District Attorneys Association board. I've also served on the State Judicial Council, where these topics have come up. And that we've made this challenge time and time again. Do the research. There are people that work at the Legislative Reference Bureau and other agencies under the control of the legislature that can do this research. Find out. If in the other 49 states it's made a difference on public safety, then Wisconsin should do it. If it hasn't, then we should invest limited resources in places where we know it does make a difference.